All right, everyone. Welcome back to How's This Fake? Happy Mother's Day to many
Mother's
mothers in the
Day.
podcast.
What's that song? I'm a mother lover, you're a mother lover.
I love all mothers,
Yeah,
but I don't know
that's
that song.
it's Saturday Night Live. Yeah, you guys can Google it.
So, what'd you think, of Backlash?
Buddy, Backlash.
Lack Bash.
Let me start off by saying this. In with a regular PLE, we're calling them PLEs now, premium live event. There is absolutely no need for a 2 hour pre-show. No need for it.
Did you
WrestleMania
watch it?
hardly even needs a 2 hour pre-show. No, I turn it on and I'm like, wait, the pre-show's 2 hours. Then I went in the pool, had some food, and let it play in the background. Because for a card with only 5 matches, I could care less about a 2 hour pre-show. They showed me
Yeah.
nothing of importance. They just replayed a bunch of stuff. If they were gonna go back to putting pre-show matches on, which they haven't done in a while, then yeah, it'd be worth watching. But they don't even do that for WrestleMania anymore. No pre-show matches. So I don't know, man.
Well, what'd
Um,
you think about the actual matches? Did you like the action? Main event, there was a lot of endings, even with the
well,
press conference and R-Truth and all that kind of stuff.
there was things that I liked about each match, and there was things I disliked about each match. So starting off, we had the Fatal Four Way, right? You had Drew, LA Knight, Damian Priest, and the champ Jacob Fatu. You know what he's not? He's not saying "I love you" Solo anymore, which is pretty good for him because Solo should be saying "I love you" Jacob. I thought it was
Yeah.
cool. I thought it was cool that the fans were chanting for Fatu before he even came out, especially with big names like McIntyre and LA Knight in there. Um, the action itself was okay.
I
Uh,
hated the action in the Fatal Four Way.
yeah,
I
I
hated it.
I feel like if they wanted to do something different, because we've already had Jacob Fatu and LA Knight, we've already had Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, and it seems like the match just focused on Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu, except for that awesome sequence they had where like everybody hit like a crazy move.
Yeah.
Um, but Damian Priest choke slamming Drew McIntyre off of that platform into the table where Drew McIntyre actually hit his head on the floor. I don't know if you caught that or not.
Oh no, I missed it.
He missed the table completely and hit his head on the floor. Um, just shows that we're still gonna get more Drew McIntyre and Damian
Well,
Priest.
the commentators were able to explain it well when Drew, I forget who he was about to pin, but he was about to win and then Priest pulled out the ref and then McIntyre gave him the classic Brock Lesnar I just kicked you out of the Rumble look
Yeah,
and and the commentator said Priest takes another title win away from Drew.
yeah.
So, in that sense it made sense.
That's
But in knowing that Jeff Cobb, well, now knowing that Jeff Cobb was going to show up, I don't know if this was like a something they knew about because I know he just retired from New Japan, like what, last week.
yeah. It hasn't been long.
So okay, well then I'm not even gonna bitch then. But I think it's time where Jacob Fatu uh gets a little bit more of a meaty story and starts actually breaking away from Solo and you know, I don't know.
I will say that Jacob Fatu and Jeff Cobb are going to put on a crazy, crazy matchup of
Yeah.
nonstop big dude action. But you texted me something in response to what I said about Jeff Cobb showing up, how I wasn't expecting him to be part of the bloodline, about Solo Sikoa that I thought was really, really interesting.
Oh yeah.
Do
See,
you
how
remember
is
what
this
it was?
fake knows no boundaries? It's not just it's a way of life. We still talk wrestling outside of the podcast. Um, yeah, dude, I remember I said basically that Solo looked, what did I say specifically? Like a baby, I think.
Yeah.
Even though
Um,
Jeff Cobb and is smaller than Solo, Solo is just he arguably helped Roman lose the title at 40. He hasn't done anything meaningful. He's lost everything since Roflix. He wasn't in WrestleMania, except a quick, 45 seconds on the entrance ramp or whatever it was. And I don't know, it's just out of all the Samoans, out of everyone in the bloodline, he is the least intimidating, I think.
um,
And having him play the role of mob boss
that's really what
is
it is. Enforcer, mob boss style guy. Hey, no, mob boss. Yeah. That-
because that's what was. He was the Godfather, but
yeah. I
you
mean,
you didn't want to cross Roman because he'd fuck you up.
they even did that scene in when WrestleMania went to Hollywood for 39, where they had
The
they
Goodfellas.
reenacted the Goodfellas.
Yep.
But yeah, I think they really dropped the ball on Solo, or maybe Solo dropped the ball on himself. But I don't see. I mean, Solo has lost way more matches than he's won, and he had that killer entrance, but he doesn't really. I don't know. It's just not. You
What
know
they could
what
do
we
was,
you know what we need to talk about in this episode too?
yeah.
We could leave the double or nothing stuff for next week because we need to talk. We never talked about those releases, and we said we would.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about that, and I was going to ask you if it's even relevant anymore.
It is because I have some stuff to say about some of them, but um, we just had these releases. We'll talk about it after we're done talking about Backlash. Solo Sokoa, 5 years from now, just in your opinion, released from the company, or is he kept because he's part of the bloodline? If they keep him in the position he's in now, let's say his character never changes.
If his character never changes, probably not. But I was thinking, man, I mean, Solo's in a really good position to get kicked off of TV for a month and then come back all alone and have someone like R-Truth or El Grande Americano or somebody funny to like bring out like because how many times has Solo tried not to laugh on TV?
Yeah, yeah, I bet he's a funny
Bring
dude in
out
real
this
life.
like lighter, fluffier side of Solo. Let him take like a comedy role. And I know it sounds crazy because of where he's been, but that is how he strikes no fear in me, or I don't look at him the same way I look at Jacob Fatu.
So I don't think it's a bad idea, but here's what I'm worried about with that. Santino Marella had a tag team partner. Do you remember who it was?
No.
Vladimir Kozlov, the Russian
Oh yeah.
big guy who was that character. He was that, like, I am this big enforcer. Don't cross me because I will mess you up. And they took the comedy route with him. Um, and though it was very entertaining, he didn't last much longer after that.
Oops. Um, true, but then I look at someone like Kane
Good point. That's a great point.
and I
Team
look
Hell
at
No was comedy gold. Kane saying "suck it" for the first time, and with
suck it.
DX, yeah.
Even
Um,
someone like Triple H and Shawn Michaels with DX, it can be done, and I think that you know the team that you just brought up, uh,
Kozlov and
Santino and
Santino.
That was creatively one of the, I would say, deepest valleys WWE had ever been in.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
But also what you're saying could totally happen because it's happened to a million other people, like the releases. So let's get into those. Oh
We'll
wait,
get
we
into
didn't even
those.
finish
We didn't
Backlash.
finish Backlash yet. We didn't finish Backlash yet.
So excited.
I know. So let's talk. What was the next match after that? Becky and the Bird Lady.
Okay, honestly, I woke up at 3:15 for no fucking reason yesterday, and this was my nap time, and I fucking hated that because this was the match I was most excited for. So I saw bits and pieces, but I was nodding off, and I planned on rewatching it today. But it looks like Lyra might have broken her nose or something. Uh, the parts I did catch, it
It
looked like a
looks
really
like
great match.
Lyra may have broken her nose, but so my wife Lexi, she said something very interesting. My wife Lexi, like I have more than one. I had to
Right,
clarify.
right.
My wife said something very interesting. She is a huge Becky Lynch fan. Okay. Becky Lynch is what made her excited to watch wrestling when she started watching wrestling. She was a huge Becky Lynch fan, has been a Becky Lynch fan. WrestleMania weekend, we had just gotten puked on, and Becky Lynch coming out is what saved the whole entire weekend for her after that. Um, she told me because I was talking about the match with her before it came on. I'm like, all right, yeah, your match is up next. And she's like, honestly, as much as I love Becky Lynch, I have no interest in this match. She was bored with the story between the two, and look at thinking about it, they could have done the story a little bit better, but I still liked the match. I will say, Bird Lady, friend of the podcast,
She's showing up.
because yeah, she has made herself entertaining over the last couple weeks. So I was interested in the match. Very, very good match. Do they run it back one more time? Probably, because the way Becky walked off made it look like she'd probably want some a little more, and they fought more after that. It was a good match. That's really all there is to say about it.
Yeah, I think especially they had to know that they weren't just going to have one more match and move on from each other. So I kind of would have liked to see a little bit of a slow burn on this. Um, Maybe instead of Becky just going straight for the clothesline as soon as they lost the titles on the Raw after Mania, maybe you see them backstage and like, yeah, we fucked up, but we're gonna figure it out, blah blah blah, and then that starts like some sort of division. And I don't know.
Yeah,
I think they could have just squeezed some more juice out of it because when I hear Becky, like it's just so uninteresting when I just hear her yell because I don't know why she's so mad.
yeah.
She's one of the best ever. Everyone cheers her, even when she is trying to get heat. So, I don't know. But yeah, I agree. It was the story itself could be a lot better.
I think Becky Lynch is only a heel because they need Seth Rollins to be a heel, and they don't want to be like AEW with that stupid story they have going on. Well, it's not a stupid story. I wouldn't say it's completely stupid, but I will say that I think it's dumb that you have John Moxley being a
A
heel and
terrorist.
Yeah, and Renee Paquette is just supposed to be friendly with everybody. And they constantly mention how that's his wife. Anyway,
You
match
know what you
after
should do,
that.
Tony Khan? Sorry, buddy. You know what you should do, Tony Khan? When
Give
Mox
us a
looks
media
like
pass.
he's about to take it, like retain the belt at All In, Renee comes out, slaps her husband in the face. Big pop.
With divorce papers.
Whoosh.
Um.
Okay, next match.
Anyway, AEW, give us a media pass. Anyway, next match, Dirty Dom versus Penta. Uh, Great match. We already talked about it. We knew Dom was gonna win, but two or three big things stuck out to me there. First one was, when was the last time you saw a male superstar pay homage to a female superstar by using one of their moves? Because
I
I
don't think
can't even
ever.
think of a single one. No. So I thought that was cool that Dominic Mysterio used Liv Morgan's move there. Um, liked the Judgment Day run in. I liked how they used that to still talk about the divide a little bit that's going on in the Judgment Day. But this was, if you knew Penta wasn't going to win, this would have been the perfect opportunity for Ray Phoenix to come out and help his brother and then start planting the seeds for the Lucha Bros in WWE. Because that Lucha Bros versus Motor City Machine Guns match, that Lucha Bros versus DIY match, it's gonna be pretty good. But anyway, Lucha Bros versus the Usos down the line. Anyway,
And Penta needs to start winning because Dom talked about it
yes,
after the show. Penta has lost just to Dom 3 times. So
agreed.
we got to get some wins. I know that everyone loves Penta,
Yeah,
but he's got
we
to
need
he's got to
to
win something here.
we need to do something. But good match. Highlight of the night for me: Gunther versus Pat McAfee up until the end.
Wasn't a bad match. I loved how
Was not a
Michael
bad
Cole got
match.
involved.
I did. I really enjoyed that match. I enjoyed Michael Cole's involvement. I enjoyed um the Pat McAfee hulking up style comeback that he had. We knew Pat was going to lose. I am intrigued by Gunther giving the nod to Pat McAfee at the very end of the match. I have no idea where Ludwig Kaiser is or where he's been really. Like, what is he doing? I know that he's like done some backstage stuff, but he's not doing anything. Um, I wanted Goldberg, dude. I
I think
wanted
you're the
Goldberg.
only person.
I am the only person that wanted Goldberg to come out. I just wanted to be
Why do you
right.
want? Why do you just want to be right, and that's why you wanted him to come out?
That and I want to see. I really want to see Goldberg or Gunther wrestle circles around Goldberg. Even though he beats
Why?
him, Goldberg beats him. I don't know. I just really do. And
Are you a
now
Goldberg
they
hater?
announced, now they announced Saudi Arabia Blood Money 25 or whatever it is, Night of Champions. Um, and they love Goldberg over there, so I think Goldberg is going to,
Goldberg in Saudi Arabia would probably
yeah,
be like the biggest heat of all time.
Goldberg, yeah, Gold. Well, no, because I don't know, Goldberg had his best match ever in Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah, they did like him over there, didn't they?
Yeah, Goldberg versus the Undertaker.
That's really
Um,
why he would get a lot of heat.
yeah. Um, no, they've put on some good matches over there in Saudi Arabia, though. They really have, but they've also put on some stinkers.
Gunther
Um,
versus Randy Orton was phenomenal.
yeah. Um, Brock Lesnar had a really good match over there too at one point. But anyway, they're going to I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that happen at Night of Champions, but if not, definitely SummerSlam. It's going to be Gunther and Goldberg. What did you think of the main event, buddy?
I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't think that Orton would win, but there were a lot of points in the match where I was like, they could give it to him.
Yeah.
And the only reason I thought that it would be okay to give it to him was because we would be able to see even more of John Cena's emotions as he leaves forever. And I was thinking after the match was over, or after the show was over, and but they stayed with Cena. The commentators left. The producer thing like already showed up on the screen, but they're just showing Cena before he like walks back, and he's taking it in, and like he's going slow as hell, and he's staring at the championship like he's on the outside, and he's looking at the championship laid out on the apron. And it looks like he starts like getting choked up a little bit.
Hmm.
And in my head, I'm like, he just realized, or it just hit him that he beat arguably his biggest rival of all time in the way that he did.
And I
And
like that
and
commentary. Sorry, you go.
no, go ahead.
I like that commentary mentioned that this is the first time ever, out of all of the times that they've wrestled each other, that John Cena is being booed as the bad guy and Randy Orton is the good guy.
And I, yeah, I was just that was so interesting to me because I'm thinking, okay, maybe the stink of WrestleMania, the and now we're here. Maybe it had to get maybe the main event of WrestleMania had to suck that we could get this, tear jerky moment in December when John Cena leaves. Like he had to take a little spiritual journey to to find himself again. But then he in the press conference he AA his truth through a table.
Yeah. So I don't know. I echo that sentiment. I don't know what's next.
The actual match though I thought was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was. Um, so that was Backlash. Let's um let's talk about somebody who I felt would have been a great addition to Backlash, but was released because we could jump into these releases real quick because they're still relevant.
Okay, let's do
It's
it.
been those of you that don't know and living under a rock, been a little over a week now where the WWE did a huge chunk of releases. They got rid of about like 15 people. One of them that shocked me, considering he's been released before, was Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman has done some amazing things ever since he got back. His work with Jacob Fatu was awesome. His work with Bronson Reed was amazing. Really put both of those guys over. And I don't know, he just seems like a good worker. I don't know what's going on backstage. I don't know if he makes too much money. I know somebody said that he is like he's really injury prone, which makes sense too, but he's a draw, man. I mean, especially considering where's Omos?
No, he really is like one of the last giants.
Yeah.
He's
I
fucking
think I have a
jacked.
shirt. I have a shirt that I got when he got released last time that has a picture, like a tail of the tape, with Braun Strowman and Andre the Giant because they're just so big dudes that I don't know. Was really shocked by that one. There are four other people I was really shocked about, but I wasn't really shocked about the Gallus guys getting let go because they've been in NXT for 7 years now. Shayna Baszler, not that shocked about letting her go, but I am excited to see her show up in AEW. And if they keep this, her and Marina Shafir in AEW is going to be great. I would be interested to see if that brings Ronda Rousey over to.
No,
You don't think
I
so?
don't want. No, 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 no.
All right.
I don't want which who I'm not even the biggest Shayna Baszler fan, but if she goes to AEW, you know what's going to happen? What always happens? Rotation. See you later.
Yeah, it's true.
And if
Um,
Shayna Baszler can be a draw by herself. She doesn't need Ronda. She doesn't need Marina Shafir, even though it would be badass to like see them all whoop ass. But
yeah,
imagine Shayna Baszler having a singles run in somewhere like GCW.
yeah,
And
I could see her
and
doing the whole blood sport thing too.
like that I want to see her do that. I don't I don't know.
I
I
do
get
think,
so I get so nervous that people are going to go to AEW that I'm never going to see them again.
right. I do think that the Gallus guys end up in AEW. I do think that, um, Riley Osborne and Oro Mensah, those guys are bound for the Indies. I think that Katana Chance, um, Casey Candazzaro, I think that she's done wrestling completely. Kaden Carter, I don't know what she ends up doing. Joe Kofi, we have Jakara Jackson, Javier Bernal, Riley Osborne. Not too shocked about most of those guys. Eddie Thorpe was a little shocked about because was main eventing NXT like a couple weeks ago. Uh, Danny Palmer, not that shocked about because she's like social media issues, all this other
Yeah.
stuff. Way too green to be pushing all these issues out there. Um, we still good on time?
Yeah.
Okay. But was really shocked about, like I said, Braun Strowman really shocked me, and the rest of them are another one that shocked me a lot and disappointed me. Shotzi Blackheart. And it shocked me because she is so like I this whole time I thought that this ghost show that she does like with Scarlett um is WWE produced, but and they said that there's another season that they're gonna do of it with Shotzi and Scarlett. Um so maybe it's not. I don't know that much, but she was released. Maybe she still has that deal with them where she could go and do the ghost hunting. I don't know what it is, but I feel for her because she is a really entertaining character. All she ever wanted in her life was to be in WWE, like most wrestlers. I mean, to the point where she got married on her wedding day in the afternoon and then wrestled a match in her wedding dress that night at a live event. Um, I mean, I don't know, her love for professional wrestling, her love for professional wrestling fans, her entertaining character, the bright green hair. I just think that I think that they're really dropped the ball on her, and I'm excited to see where she goes next.
Well,
Another one,
usually people who have the attitude that you're describing, where like they've wanted it since they were a kid, they sacrifice things and like something like a wedding and then wrestling in your dress. Um, those kind of people don't go down easy. So, maybe Shotzi is an example of someone who, like a Drew McIntyre, gets
yeah,
released and has to go figure things out. And then when they come back, they're bigger than ever.
I could see it. I also see her going to TNA. Another person I see going to TNA, which I don't know. I'm a little shocked about, but I'm also excited because Gigi Dolan.
Mm.
She's been stuck she had a little bit of showing on the main roster, but primarily been in NXT, got caught up in the Fatal Influence stuff with Mandy Rose and where do we put her, things like that. So I know that she's like engaged or married to Zach Wentz of the Radicals in TNA. She used to be married to Darby Allin. Um, and her personality fits a mixture like of I don't know, based off of what I could see, fits like a mixture of both of those guys' style. She's amazing in the ring, and she has no fear. And Priscilla Kelly, which is what she went under before she was in WWE, was one of the craziest female wrestlers on the independent roster. There's a clip with her and a girl in a chair and something nasty going on with her body, and that's all I will say out loud. You got to go find it for yourself. Um, I am excited for Priscilla Kelly to be back on the independents, to be back wherever she goes. I think that she is born to be a wrestler outside of WWE because that's where she really can be herself and crazy and show those that no fear that she has. I'm excited for that one.
Miggy with the deep cuts. I
Yeah.
couldn't have told you any of the things that you just said.
So another one that I am excited for, or let's go with the one I'm disappointed about, and then I'll go for the one that I'm excited for because I think, just like you said, will be somebody back at WWE. But disappointed about Dakota Kai. They said age was a big factor of her. I guess she's 37 years old. Which sucks because I think that she's a hard worker. She's great in the ring. I know she's had a bunch of injuries. But her and Tegan Knox in NXT, one of the best stories that NXT ever had. Nixon Noel. Um, Now she's Tegan Knox is Nixon Noel now. But then, yeah, and then she did great with the damage control stuff too, and she was a perfect manager for damage control. And there was just so much more to her. I'm sad to see her go. Excited to see where she turns up. Let's get to the most shocking one for me.
Let's do it.
Cora Jade, 21 years old. Now there's a lot of rumors here of why she got released. Some people say she had an attitude. Some people say she's like one of those girls that's hot, knows she's hot, and came in like that. I know she's dated half of the NXT roster. That's an exaggeration, but she's dated a lot of the guys on the NXT roster. Which I don't think it should play a factor in anything. Don't get me wrong. I think whatever anybody wants to do outside of work. But some people were online were saying that that was an issue. Because I know she's dated like Braun Breaker and other guys that were on the roster in NXT. Again, don't think that should play a factor in her losing her job, but um, but she has everything, absolutely everything. That she's young, she's talented on the microphone, she's attractive, she is what is she like 22 years old? Yeah. Um, she can wrestle. She has a background. I don't know if you know this or not about her. She goes as Elena Black everywhere else, or she did, and she has a background in deathmatch wrestling at that
Oh,
young
nice.
age. Been in crazy death matches that I've seen, staples, blood everywhere, whole 9 yards. Um, Really like leaving it all in the ring, and yeah, she has the WWE look. I mean, I know that all these creepy guys online are going crazy because she is opening up an OnlyFans. And she joked, she's like, she said a joke about 30 more days until I take all your money. But I am really shocked by this one. I really think that Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, are the future of women's wrestling. And I'll say that again so we can clip it. Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, Elena Black and Roxanne Perez. I'll even throw like Izzy Moreno in there. I'll throw
Stephanie
uh
Vacuer,
Stephanie Vacuer.
Vacker,
Um I'll throw Julia Hart, Megan Bain. Um
the care. Jeez.
yeah. Um all of these are all women that I think are the future of women's wrestling. And I am very, very shocked by this Cora Jade release. I'm hoping that, um, like I said, she's still really young though, so I'm thinking that she makes her way back. Oh, Billy Starks. Billy Starks is another one. Future of women's wrestling.
All right.
But
Well,
do you have
well, that
anything?
clears it up, buddy. You
No.
know, I of course don't want people to lose their job and stuff like that, and I'm sympathetic towards it. But to me, it wasn't. The names weren't that shocking, only because of like what I'm seeing on the TV. Um, whose merch are people wearing?
That's fair.
And also just usually after WrestleMania, there's like one, two, maybe three times a year, I think, where they do releases.
Yeah.
So
I
not
will
super.
say, I will say that there was a lot of people I was worried about, and they're still worried
Okay,
about.
time to
Shinsuke
step the
not
fuck up, then.
Yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura is one of them.
Oh yeah.
Karrion Kross was one of them.
All of the Wyatt Six.
All of the Wyatt Six. Especially, I know tomorrow we got a really big interview, but we still got to talk this week in wrestling also because I got a lot to say about something that took place on SmackDown.
Okay. Oh, and by the way, I think we need to change the segment name of This Week in Wrestling to Last Week because we
But
usually talk about the week
agreed,
before. Yeah.
agreed.
Okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up for today. Lot went down on today's episode, but on Tuesday's episode, we are going to have the first ever female, besides Miggy's wife, on the podcast. We finally learned how to talk to girls. And we are going to have
Took
Peggy
me a long
from
time.
Dream Slam Wrestling, because we're the official podcast. We're going to talk to her on Tuesday, and then word on the street is Enoch might try to show up sometime this week, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
All right, everyone, tell your moms Happy Mother's Day, and we will catch you later.